Greetings, Matthews. This is Mrs. Mounts, and I am going to explain how to do the activity, what shape is your name? Now, I have to get this video done in 15 minutes, so if I go too fast, just hit pause if you need to, okay? So this is an activity that I wanted you to do. It gets you to plotting points in all four quadrants, and it also teaches you how to rotate a shape. Every name is going to be different. I want you to practice a name, and then you will do your own personal name. So let's go ahead and get started here. I am going to have you practice the name Shay, and it is spelled S-H-A-E. And I want you to put that straight down the first column, along with the first letter of her name, which is S, and we're going to wrap her name around. And then it's going to be the first two letters of her name. So again, it's S-H-A-E, first letter, wrap your name around, and then the first two letters. What we're going to do now is look up to see what number corresponds with each of these letters. Okay, and I'll zoom in just a little bit here for you so you can see that. So an S ends up coordinating with a 4, and this is how we get our ordered pairs to start the activity. And H is worth 3. Now you're going to notice that your next X is an H, so we already know that an H is worth 3. We need to look up the A, and A is worth -4. There's the letter A again, so we write -4. Letter E is a 0. Bring down that 0. S, we've already looked up. We know that the letter S is worth 4. And then we bring that down, and an H is worth 3. Now, one thing you'll notice is that the first ordered pair is the same as the last ordered pair. We want that because it's going to give you a shape, and we want it to reconnect. All right, now I'm going to plot those points pretty quickly down here. So again, if you need to pause, feel free to pause. So this is a connect the dot activity. I'm going to first plot 4, 3, and then I am going to plot 3, -4. And I am going to connect those. Now make sure you use a ruler. So it's kind of a dot to dot. You probably did one of these maybe when you were younger, just to learn about the coordinate system. It might have made a particular shape. So all I'm doing is going straight down up here. The next ordered pair I am going to graph is -4, 0. And I'm going to connect that with the previous point, which was 3, -4. And then I'm going to connect this to 0, 4. And then lastly, I end up connecting it back to the original point we started with, which was 4, 3. This is the shape of the name Shay. It's a quadrilateral. What we're going to do now is we're going to rotate it 90 degrees, 180 degrees, and 270 degrees. And then it'll make a pretty cool design. So back up here on our ordered pairs, you can see that our new X value is our previous Y. And I'm using a new color. All you have to do is copy your Y's. See how it says Y and Y? So I copy those straight down. Now my new Y is the opposite of X. So I'm going to go straight down, opposite of X. Those are my new ordered pairs. And again, anytime you feel like you need to pause, feel free to do that. So now I'm going to connect these. So I start over 3, -4, which I already have plotted. Sometimes that happens. I'm going to kind of just go over the top of it. I'm going to connect that to -4, -3. And again, I use a ruler, make it nice and straight. I'm going to connect that to 0, 4. I already have that plotted. to 4, 0. That's a new plot for me. And then back to 3, negative 4. So all I did here is I just went straight down. And if you feel like you need to check it off, go ahead and do that. Now I want to show you how this has rotated around 0, 0. This was my original. I rotated it 90 degrees. And there's my same shape. So I know I did it right. I can kind of visualize it. I've got one in purple, one in green. Okay, so I'm going to keep moving along here. So we're halfway done. My next one here. Look at how it says opposite of x, opposite of x. That means it's the same thing. I'm just going to copy those again. So my last y becomes my first x. Notice I didn't change any signs. I kept everything the same. This says the opposite of y. I go back here. Here's my y values. I'm going to do opposite signs straight down. And when it's 0, 0 just stays 0. So there's my new ordered pairs. This is going to rotate from your original 180 degrees. All right, let's get to it here. Negative 4, negative 3. Now you can see I already have that plotted. Then I'm going to plot negative 3, positive 4, and connect those. And I'm trying to use a different color each time so you can see. I'm going to connect that to 4, 0. And you can see that was already a data point. To 0, negative 4, that's a new one. And then back to negative 4, negative 3. That was my original data point. And it looks the same. It's that quadrilateral. So it is rotated 180 degrees. But let me just show you how we end up kind of spinning it around here. So there's our original. There's 90 degrees. This is 180 degrees. So it still looks kind of okay, but you know what? When we do that last color, it's like, oh yeah, this is really cool. Okay, so we have one more that we are going to do, one more rotation here. Notice we have opposite y, opposite y. We are going to copy those once again. Notice I'm not doing any opposites, I'm just copying. And then this last y, it says letter X. We're going to go all the way to the beginning and copy those X values straight down. Didn't change it to opposite or anything. All right, there's our new ordered pairs. And this should get us our last quadrilateral. This one is going to rotate 270 degrees from the original. Negative 3, 4. And again, we have a lot of these points already plotted. Now I'm going to connect that to 4, 3. I think actually all of these are plotted. We just got to make sure we connect them in the right order. 0, negative 4. All the way down there. Negative 4, 0. And then back to negative 3, positive 4. I have now completed the name Shay. What happens is a lot of times you get a shape in the middle. So I'm just going to show you how you possibly could color yours. So you color something in the middle there. Then you should have 4 of something. See how you have 4 of these? Just going to put that in purple. And then you would color these shapes. So these end up being kind of neat after you color them. Okay, and then you can see, oh, I've got this big triangle. Okay, so I'm going to color those all the same. And so you would just work your way out until you get everything colored. And you can use whatever colors you want. And I could keep going there, but I think you get the idea. I want to show you just a couple other type of shapes that you could come up with. Now this is the name Kaelyn, Kaelyn. So her shape did not end up crisscrossing. There's 0, 0. It ended up just rotating. So that's kind of unique. Let me see if I can get some other ones here real quick for you. This one's Maya, Maya. That one was kind of cool. Again, it didn't crisscross. So the shape of her name is this shape. And then when it rotates, that's the picture she ended up getting. This one is Ella. I thought that one was kind of cool. But then you can get shapes that do end up crisscrossing each other. Okay, here's an example. And here's another example. And you can see how they started on the inside and worked their way out. So you want to grab a second graph sheet and start with your name. Have fun with it.